Picture this. Minus 89 degrees Celsius. 200 miles per hour winds that can rip shipping containers from the ground, 6 months of absolute darkness. And your job? Fix a broken sewage pump. Welcome to Antarctica. Today we're exposing the truths about the world's most isolated maintenance workers, the people who keep Antarctica running. While scientists get all the glory studying climate change and emperor penguins, there's an invisible army working behind the scenes. Plumbers, electricians, mechanics, diesel technicians. These aren't researchers in white coats. These are skilled tradespeople who signed up for what might be the most dangerous maintenance gig on Earth. Between 1,000 and 4,000 people work in Antarctica at any given time, depending on the season. But here's the shocking part. Most of them aren't scientists. They're the people fixing generators at -60 degrees, repairing sewage systems in blizzards, and keeping power plants running through months of total darkness. Let's talk numbers. The Australian Antarctic program has recorded 21 deaths over the last 50 years. Sounds low? Consider this. Their entire winter population is often just 70 people per station. The Russian program? They have deaths every year. The US program? Same story. One Australian safety manager put it bluntly. People get drunk, fall down a crevasse, and die. In 2016, a maintenance worker died falling into an Antarctic crevasse while doing routine work.
And some devastating news from the University of Maine in Orono tonight. University officials say science professor 50-year-old Gordon Hamilton died yesterday while conducting research in Antarctica.
These aren't just gaps in the ice, they're sheer-sighted death traps that can descend hundreds of meters into darkness. Snow forms thin layers over them, invisible until you're already falling. Antarctica isn't just cold, it's lethally cold. The lowest reliably measured temperature ever recorded was minus 89.2 degrees Celsius at Vostok Station in 1983. At the South Pole, the average annual temperature is minus 49 degrees. The warmest it's ever been there? Minus 12 degrees on Christmas Day 2011. But temperature is just the beginning. Wind speeds regularly exceed 100 kilometers per hour for days at a time, with gusts over 200 kilometers per hour measured at coastal stations. In 2024, one Australian station endured a 7-day blizzard with winds between 100 to 148 kilometers per hour and one gust reaching 244 kilometers per hour. Visibility was zero for days. To move between buildings, workers had to follow ropes because stepping away from that line could mean death. Winter brings 24-hour darkness from April to August. Aircraft can't fly when temperatures drop below minus 50 degrees because hydraulics freeze and fuel lines crystallize. That means no medical evacuation, no emergency supplies, no escape. Now imagine being the person responsible for keeping everything running in these conditions. You're a plumber, and a sewage pipe freezes and bursts. You have to go outside minus 40 degrees and fix it. The water in your fire hoses freezes solid, making fire already one of Antarctica's deadliest hazards, virtually impossible to fight. Buildings go up in minutes in the dry Antarctic air, and you can't do anything but watch them burn. You're an electrician, and the power goes out. Without electricity, you lose heat. Without heat, the entire station could die. The pressure is unimaginable. You're a diesel mechanic working on generators, heavy equipment, or snow vehicles. One breakdown could strand a research team in the field or leave them without power for heating. Your work has to be perfect because mistakes are fatal. The job descriptions are brutal. Maintenance workers must be willing and able to lift and move equipment, perform heavy lifting, climb in and out of machinery, crawl through tight spaces, and work outdoors in extreme cold. They work 6 days a week, often for 6 to 18-month contracts. Overtime is the norm, not the exception. Here's where it gets terrifying. Most Antarctic stations have one doctorate general practitioner with limited resources. In 2016, one base doctor had to perform emergency abdominal surgery. The medical team consisted of the doctor, a plumber, a diesel mechanic, and the station chef. Think about that. You're a mechanic 1 minute, and the next minute you're assisting in surgery because there's literally no one else. Injuries are a constant source of anxiety. Workers worry about getting hurt because they know how difficult or impossible getting help would be. Frostbite, hypothermia, snow blindness, broken bones from slips on ice, equipment-related accidents. These aren't call an ambulance situations. The closest hospital could be 1,800 miles away, and in winter, no plane can reach you. But the physical dangers are only half the story. The mental toll of Antarctic work is devastating. It's called winter over syndrome, and it's real. Studies show 5% of Antarctic workers need clinical psychological help. Symptoms include depression, sleep problems, intense irritability, memory loss, aggressive behavior, and in severe cases, complete mental breakdowns. One former janitor who worked in Antarctica for 3 years described feeling ignored, isolated, and unsafe, essentially the entire time. Workers spend 60% of their leisure time alone in their dorm rooms just to escape the claustrophobic social environment. Antarctica is a desert, the driest place on Earth. Dehydration is constant. The air pressure is low at high-altitude stations like the South Pole at 2,834 meters elevation, meaning oxygen deprivation adds another layer of stress. Imagine being stuck with the same 20 to 70 people for 8 months straight. No privacy, constant gossip, workplace conflicts with nowhere to escape, monotony so crushing that one worker said he might as well have been in Nebraska. A 2022 report by the National Science Foundation exposed the dark side of Antarctic work culture. 72% of female workers believe sexual harassment and assault is a problem in Antarctica.
Female researchers from Australia have reported sexual harassment in research camps. Women are leading horrible lives in these camps. Let me now tell you why. They complained of uninvited physical contact.
59% of women said they'd experienced it themselves. The male-to-female ratio was 2 to 1, creating a toxic environment that management has consistently failed to address. There have been Christmas brawls requiring medical evacuations, federal investigations into sexual assault, and in one tragic case, the